Hey everyone, Brian with Short Circuit Brewers here, and I wanted to give this little update on where the Fat Tire clone was at, as well as give a little bit of a shout out to all of the folks that hung with us the other day. It was a long broadcast, but we had a really good time hanging out with all the people. Shout out wise, I want to give a shout out to Leo, Christian, Jeff, Thrash Metal Brewer. There was another one that was with us for quite a while, and I cannot remember what the name it was, so hopefully if you watch this, it was Backwoods Beer Review or something. It was something like that. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch through the whole 4 hours because I said your name a couple times in there, but I just wanted to give a shout out to all you guys, and then Colorado Fly Fishermen dropped by for a little while to heckle us, but you know, that's always good fun. So cheers guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us. We had a great time, and look forward to doing it again actually, so cheers. Alright, the other part of the video that I wanted to do was there is a frequently asked beer questions going around, and the tasting niche actually started it, and it looked like a pretty cool deal, so you know, I want to jump on the bandwagon with it and do a video of my own and call out a few people at the end of it, and hopefully if you haven't been called out yet, if you've already been called out, call somebody out for me, and we'll just keep this thing going. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of cool getting some insight into the brewers, and not necessarily just brewers, but also, you know, people that like craft beer and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. So starting off, question number one was how did you get into beer geeking and why beer? Well, I would tell you that I went out to a impromptu family reunion out in California, and one of my cousins is actually a brewer, and he was the one that pretty much turned me onto the homebrew scene, if you will. Hadn't really ever had any homebrew until then. Had kind of heard it, heard about it a little bit, but you know, I haven't really tried any or anything like that. So he brought a whole cooler full of all these different kind of beers. I can't remember. I don't think he brought any IPAs with him. I think it was more just like some brown ales and Christmas ales and stuff like that. But it was a really good time. We sat out. It was in California in the hillside, and we sat out underneath of the shade and just had a bunch of little Dixie cups of beer, and it was a really eye-opening experience to taste what beer could actually taste like. After we got back from that trip, I told my wife, I'm like, I'm doing this. I mean, I like to cook. I absolutely love, you know, experimenting with that, so I can't see why beer would be any different. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. Number two, what's your favorite beer? I would have to say it would be a toss-up for me because I'd have to go with something local, and probably would have to go with Bodie, which is Columbus Brewing Company's double IPA. It's just absolutely good. Floral, citrusy. It's a really nice West Coast IPA. So that, and then probably beyond that, the other two, if I could get them locally, would be Heady Topper and maybe some Russian River Pliny the Elder, because those are absolutely awesome beers. Those are my kind of beers too. So if you had one beer forever, what would it be? That's question number three. I'd have to say, and this might surprise some people, but probably Heineken. I really like Heineken, especially if it's in the can or if it hasn't been skunked in the bottle. It's a great all-around go-to beer. I really enjoy it a lot. And if you haven't had it in the can where it's not real skunky, try it out, see what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Question number four is how can you drink so much and how do you stay healthy? Well, you know, I don't drink a ton. I have my fair share, but you know, I did work out some a few years ago, and I'd like to get back into it again. I got to give Tony Yates a lot of credit. That guy really busted it out, and I didn't watch his channel for a little while, and I came back, and I was like, holy crap. So he's living proof that you can enjoy the beer and stay healthy for sure. So Tony, you're kind of my role model on this. I'm going to get back into the gym and hopefully lose a few pounds, but I'm not cutting back on the beer. I mean, it's just one of those things. I brew it. I love drinking it. It's great. So you know that will remain the same. Cheers, guys. That brings you to number five, which is are you an alcoholic? Yeah, you know, I don't think so. I really don't. You know, I don't consider myself that. Like SJ said in his video, somebody that's an alcoholic has to have it to function. I don't really have to have it to function. I mean, you know, I enjoy it, but if I had to go without it, it would be no big deal. I'd miss it. I would definitely miss it, but it's not something where I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, I got to have a beer just to go on with the day. No, that's not the case. So, you know, I guess there's all different degrees of alcoholism, but you know, I enjoy beer, so I'm going to say no, absolutely not. What's your favorite ingredient? Well, beyond yeast, which is what actually makes beer, we just make wort. So Beyond that, I would have to say it would be hops. I really love hops. I'm kind of a hop head. I enjoy hoppy beers. I enjoy all styles, but hoppy beers are probably my go-to thing. So, do you brew? Well, as you can probably see over my shoulder, the brewing system. Yes, I do brew. So, I had kind of a steep curve in my brewing hobby, if you will. When I got back from that impromptu family reunion out in California and bought my first kit with my first actual batch kit, it was a holiday ale, brewed that up. It was an extract batch. After that, the next one I did was a Irish Red, and it was a partial mash beer. And then right after that, dove right into all grain. So it was one extract, one partial mash, all grain. So and then with that, I probably did a year or two worth of brewing on that, and then went right to electric. So I did a electric rim system first, and then went right to this system. So my curve is a little bit different than people. But I know people that brew extract or even beer pre-hopped wort beers that come out great. So any level of brewing is awesome to me. So you don't have to do electric or propane. Do it on your stove. I don't care. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So what was your first beer? I would have to say it was probably a Miller Genuine Draft Light. And that was when I was in high school, I have to say, and I do not promote underage drinking, so hopefully everybody watching this video is of age. But I was able to buy beer whenever I was younger because I looked older, and that was actually one of the first beers that I bought and I had. Actually, and this is a bit of trivia for you. Actually bought a case of Miller Genuine Draft Light and took it to a party, and there was a person, he is passed now, rest in peace. Some of you guys might know him. If you do, let me know in the comments below if you know who this person is. But the guy's name was Dave Williams, semi-famous singer for a rock band. And I'm not going to give the name because I want you guys to see if you can figure it out and let me know. But went to high school with him and partied with him quite a bit before he got big. And it was a lot of fun. So that was my first beer. Question number 9 was, who in the beer world do you look up to? I would have to say probably be Charlie Papazian and John Palmer. Those two guys, I read all the stuff on them. I've read, John Palmer's How to Brew front to back probably 35 times when I first started out, learning and understanding partial mash and all grain and chemistry and all that stuff behind it and sanitization and everything. So anybody's looking to get into beer, absolutely get that, pick that up. But those two guys are probably the ones that I look up to the most with regards to that. We got some great local beer brewers here that are awesome too, but I would say probably those guys are the pioneers of the homebrew world. So, okay, so in the video, she says you have to tag 5 other people to basically answer the same questions. So, without any particular order, I'm going to go for Nate from Under the Table Brewing, and I really have a hard time believing nobody's tagged you yet. So, if you have been tagged, then tag somebody else for me. Joe, which actually owns a homebrew shop over in Iowa, I believe it is, and his channel is Tipischorian Kid. And so, Joe, I'm calling you out to do this video. Chris from Brick and Mortar. If you guys haven't seen Chris's channel, he's doing some pretty cool stuff. He just arrived on the scene here, but I think he's going to do some really cool stuff. His labels on his bottles are absolutely awesome, and I'm gonna have to get some of those beers from you, Chris, to try them out. I got to be honest with you, some of them sound very intriguing and really cool. So, then the next one is Wally Feck, a fellow Ohioan. He's down in Cincinnati, so I got to call out my fellow Ohioan to do this video. And finally, Chip from Chop and Brew. Chip does a lot of different videos. I'm pretty sure everybody on the internet knows who he is, but I'm going to call him out and see if we can get him to do one of these. It'd be kind of cool. And if for some reason I have picked somebody that is doubled up already, I'm going to pick, I believe it's Home Brewing TV. He's kind of a smaller channel. He's done some pretty cool stuff. I'll link him up in the video below. And, if you guys haven't checked out some of his stuff, he does some brew days and some equipment reviews and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure it's Home Brewing TV. So that's pretty much all I got, other than if you can see behind me, the Fat Tire clone is going great. It kicked off like the next morning. I dumped the yeast on it. Kicked right off. It's been going strong since then. Looking really good, smelling really good. So hopefully that'll be pretty cool. I'm hoping it'll be close to the beer that Kelly likes a lot. But we're gonna do I'm thinking about doing like a. Would you guys be interested in doing like a live taste comparison? Because we had so much fun doing the live brew day the other day. I think maybe a live taste comparison side by side with the two would be fun. So let me know in the comments below. As always, I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Share with your friends, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate you. Cheers. We'll see you on the next one.